you ever wondered why resource deserts made those living in them more vulnerable to the impacts of COVID-19? Resource deserts are areas with limited access to essential services and goods such as healthcare, transportation, food, and technology. And here are 3 reasons why those living in these areas were particularly vulnerable to the impacts of COVID-19. The first reason is limited access to healthcare. Resource deserts often have fewer healthcare facilities, which means residents may not have access to necessary medical care, especially in the case of an urgent and widespread health crisis like COVID-19. This made it harder for people to get tested, treated, or vaccinated, leaving them more susceptible to severe illness or death. The second reason is healthcare disparities. Even in areas where healthcare services are available, people in resource deserts often face disparities in health outcomes due to factors like poverty, poor nutrition, and pre-existing health conditions. These factors contributed to a higher risk of complications from COVID-19. The third reason is food insecurity. Limited access to affordable and nutritious food is common in resource deserts, making people more vulnerable to health problems that weaken the immune system, such as malnutrition or obesity. This can make it harder for individuals to fight off infections like COVID-19. Together, these factors made it harder for residents of resource deserts to protect themselves and recover from the pandemic, contributing to a greater burden of illness and death in these areas. Another pressing issue is the school-to-prison pipeline and how it disproportionately affects students of color. The school-to-prison pipeline refers to a disturbing trend in which students from marginalized communities are pushed out of schools and into the criminal justice system. This phenomenon is driven by policies and practices in schools that disproportionately affect certain students, leading them to become involved in the criminal justice system at a higher rate. There are many factors that contribute to this school-to-prison pipeline, and here are 3 of them. The first one is the zero-tolerance policies. These policies often mandate harsh punishments such as suspensions or expulsions for a wide range of infractions, even minor ones. The problem is that these policies do not take into account the context or the underlying cause of a student's behavior, such as mental health issues, trauma, or family problems. Another one is over-policing in schools. The increased presence of law enforcement officers in schools leads to a more punitive approach to student behavior rather than focusing on education or conflict resolution. Minor infractions like disruption in class or fights are criminalized, escalating situations that could otherwise be handled with support or counseling. And the third one is discriminatory discipline. Studies show that Black students, Latino students, and other students of color are more likely to face suspension, expulsion, and police involvement than their white peers for similar behaviors. This disproportionate punishment increases the likelihood that these students will fall behind academically and face criminal charges later. One example of the school-to-prison pipeline disproportionately affecting students of color is seen in the case of Black and Latino students who are frequently disciplined more harshly for minor infractions than their white peers. For instance, a Black student might have been suspended for talking back to a teacher, while a white student exhibiting the same behavior may be given a warning or referred to counseling. I believe that bureaucracies can be beneficial to societies in many ways. By having standardized rules and specialized roles, bureaucracies can help ensure that tasks are completed efficiently and consistently. Because bureaucracies rely on clear chains of command, documentation, and rules, it's easier to track decisions and hold individuals accountable for their actions. This is important in sectors like healthcare, law enforcement, or education, where transparency and responsibility are key. By removing personal biases and favoritism through impersonal rules and procedures, bureaucracies can help create a more equitable environment where everyone is treated according to the same standards, promoting fairness. That's all for this video. Make sure to leave your opinion on these 3 topics in the comments below and share this video with 3 people and encourage them to do the same.